Greetings, and welcome to the Bard and Bourbon Happy Hour special, presented by Mad Rogues Theatre Company in collaboration with the Nose Studios. Today we are celebrating the birthday of one of the greatest playwrights and poets the world has ever known, the Bard of Avon himself, William Shakespeare. We had been planning to throw a nice little party at the Underground Collaborative, but under current circumstances, that is, of course, impossible. Hence, we have ventured into the cyber realm, and with the help of our friends at No Studios, we have put together a sort of Shakespearean variety show, for the which supply, admit me, chorus to this event. My name is Bryant Mason. I'm the artistic director of Mad Rogues Theatre Company, and I'm delighted to be your host on this virtual birthday party. To help us in this celebration, we have reached out to many of our fellow theater practitioners, producers, directors, actors, and artists to share a short video of some of their favorite excerpts from the works of William Shakespeare. We at Mad Rogues are proud to be a member of the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance, and throughout the hour you'll be hearing from several other MTA member companies like the Underground Collaborative, Summit Players, Schmitz and Giggles, Boozy Bard, and more. Some of them, like us, have had to cancel or postpone performances for the time being, but in the true never say die spirit of the theater, we will continue to create and to collaborate and to find new ways to bring the arts to you. As the saying goes, the show must go on, just in a different way for now. Additionally, we would like to take this opportunity to help raise funds and awareness for the Imagine MKE Artist Relief Fund. Like many people impacted by the economic situation as a result of the current pandemic, working artists are deeply feeling the effect of multiple and ongoing cancellations of bookings and performances, resulting in the loss of income and the need for support in this time of struggle. For more information about the Artist Relief Fund, as well as how to donate or to apply for relief support, please visit the Imagine MKE website at www.imaginemke.com. Now, pour yourself a drink. This is a happy hour, after all. As they say, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Me, I'm drinking some bourbon from my friends at Central Standard. If you're hungry, why not order something to be delivered from one of our fine local restaurants? Eat local, drink local, and theater local. So, let's raise a glass to our birthday boy of honor, Billy the Bard. Fair thoughts and happy hours attend you. Salute. And now, let's hear from some of our performers. First up will be a selection of various sonnets presented by Grace DeWolff, Maya Danks, Hayley Ebinal, Katarina Vandlik, and Shannon Klein. Ladies, take it away.
Why didst thou promise such a beauteous day, and make me travel forth without my cloak, to let base clouds o'ertake me in my way, hiding thy bravery in their rotten smoke? 'Tis not enough that through the cloud thou break, to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face, for no man well of such a salve can speak, that heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. Nor can thy shame give physic to my grief. Though thou repent, yet I still have the loss. The offender's sorrow lends but weak relief to him that bears the strong offence's cross. But those tears are pearl, which thy love sheds, and they are rich, and ransom all ill deeds.
Hello, my name's Maya. I'm going to be reading Sonnet 29 because times are tough right now, and this sonnet is about feeling like you are at rock bottom, but then remembering that one person that you love that makes you feel like it's all going to be okay. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least. Yet in these thoughts myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Music to hear. Why hearest thou music sadly? Sweets with sweets war not, joy delights in joy. Why lovest thou that which thou receivest not gladly, or else receivest with pleasure? Thine annoy. If the true concord of well-tuned sounds by unions merry do offend thine ear, they do but sweetly chide thee, who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. Mark how one string, husband to another, strikes each in each by mutual ordering, resembling sire and child and happy mother, who all in one pleasing note do sing, whose speechless song, being many, seeming one, sings this to thee: thou single wilt prove none.
Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head to work my mind when body's works expired. For then my thoughts from far where I abide intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which like a jewel hung in ghastly night makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find.
Hello, I'm Shannon Klein, and I chose Sonnet 116 to submit for Bard and Bourbon's Happy Hour. I chose Sonnet 116 because I have always been a romantic. It was a favorite in high school, and about 4 years ago, on a snowy April day, my husband had asked one of our friends to read this sonnet when he proposed to me. So it has extra special meaning. And without further ado, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Thank you.
Now, some of you may be wondering why we have chosen today for this virtual birthday party, when in fact there is no documented record of Shakespeare's birth. However, the baptism of a newborn named William Shakespeare was recorded in the parish register at the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford-upon-Avon on April 26, 1564. Tradition at the time was for baptism to take place within 3 days of the child's birth, so it is reasonable to assume that he was born sometime in the 3 days prior. And over time, the date of April the 23rd has been regarded as the most likely day for his birth to have taken place. And as fate would have it, April 23rd is also the day on which Shakespeare died, in 1616 at the age of 52. His death was publicly acknowledged and his burial took place 2 days later at the very same church where he was baptized, again recorded in the parish register. His gravestone can be visited at the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford to this day, so it is without a doubt that, Today, April 23rd, is the perfect day to honor and celebrate the life and work of arguably the most influential writer in the history of the English language. So without further ado, let's get back to some of those works. Undoubtedly, one of the most famous of his plays, both during his lifetime and after, is the tragedy of star-crossed love, Romeo and Juliet. Our friends at Optimist are hoping to present this play this summer, so perhaps this selection of speeches will whet your appetite. Presenting these will be Maura Atwood, Hayley Cotton, Rebekah Farr, and a handful of actors from our friends at Pink Umbrella Theatre Company, promoting and providing theater that is accessible and inclusive for people who identify with a physical, intellectual, or emotional disability. Enjoy.
Thou knowest, the mask of night is on my face. Else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered.
Hello everyone, my name is Hayley, and I have chosen to recite Romeo's "'Tis torture and not mercy" monologue from Romeo and Juliet. This piece is really special to me because before I moved out to Colorado, the very last acting role I had in Milwaukee, and the last acting role I've had ever, was Romeo with Bard and Bourbon's Romeo and Juliet, now known as Mad Rogues. This monologue in particular was challenging for me. It was challenging reciting it for a video, but it was so beautiful the few times that I really got it right, which was not every night, I'll tell you that much. That show was so special. That cast was one of the few casts I've experienced where I feel like it was perfect, and it was such a happy, wonderful, beautiful family. So I offer this monologue because it holds this place of love in my heart, and it's so powerful. So yeah, please enjoy. 'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives. Every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush, as thinking their own kiss is sin. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, and I am banished. Say'st thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean as banished to kill me? Banished, friar the damned, use that word in hell, howlings attend it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, my friend professed to mangle me with that word banished?
Hi, I am Rebekah Farr. I performed twice with Mad Rogues, both times playing Portia. I played Portia in Julius Caesar, and most recently I played her in Merchant of Venice. And I chose today to read a little bit from Romeo and Juliet because I'm working on that character right now and I'm really excited to play her. And also because this particular monologue is the part of the play which she learns about Tybalt and Romeo being banished. And it's a very conflicting moment of grief for her where she's trying to process these two new realities that she can't really do anything but grieve. And I chose it because right now I feel that way pretty frequently. I feel like I'm very often receiving news in a confusing and conflicting way that there's very little I can do about, and that kind of pain is hard to process. I personally receive comfort through the connection and shared experience and understanding of another human. And so in some ways it comforts me to read Juliet's experience of this kind of pain. And I hope that you might find some comfort in this shared pain as well, or at least the understanding of someone else. Yeah. Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistakenly offer up to joy. My husband lives. That Tybalt would have slain. And Tybalt's dead. That would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it, fain. But, it presses to my memory, like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo is banished. That banish it, that one word, banish it, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Or, if sour woe delights in fellowship, and needly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not, when she said Tybalt's dead, thy father? Or thy mother, nay, or both? But with a rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. If you speak that word, is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, no measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. So I guess I hope that if you're experiencing a kind of grief like this that feels like there are no words to express that kind of woe, or if you're feeling kind of isolated or alone right now in your pain, that this might help. It might help you feel more connected. Or maybe just that Shakespeare is a place where you can go and cry a little bit, and that might help too. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Cummings. I'm the founder of Pink Umbrella Theater, where we are creating accessible theater for all. Members of our ensemble and staff are delighted to perform the Queen Mab scene from Romeo and Juliet.
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
The dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab with bed with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes. In shape no bigger than an agate stone, on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little enemy, over men's noses as they lie asleep.
Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel, her old grub, time out of mind, the fairies' coachmakers.
And in this state she gallops night by night, through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love, or courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dreams, which off the angry map with blistered plagues, because their breasts with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallop o'er the courtier's nose, then dreams of he of smelling out a suit, and sometimes she come up with a pied pig's tail, tickling the parson's nose as a lies asleep, and then dreams he of another butterflies.
Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting thorny throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathoms deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plaits the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf-locks and foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to pair, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy.
Shakespeare's influence and impact on our culture and way of thinking and speaking can be felt not only in his plays and poems, but in the very words he created, inventing more than 1,500 of them, as well as in the way he inspired other artists in his own time and beyond. Some of that inspiration has fueled our next handful of performers to put a creative spin on some of the bard's work, in song as presented by Joel Kopischke, Rána Roman, and Ryan Cappleman, in literature, written by Mark Twain and performed here by Maggie Marks in collaboration with her daughter Isla, and in comedy from our friends at Schmitz and Giggles, written by Patrick Schmitz and featuring Josh Decker and Rich Laguna.
A shepherd has a wooden cane he herds with. A barber surgeon has a drilling blade. And I, my friends, am what you call a wordsmith. And my brain is the tool of my trade. So I peruse the English language beyond Oxford, beyond Cambridge, as I sip from my imagination's cup. And if I can't find the word that I'm looking for, I simply make one up. Like monumental, like marriage bed, like sanctimonious, that's right, that's what I said. And then there's pander and pageantry, all these words you never heard until you heard of me. All these words you never heard if not for me. Obsequiously, yeah, that's a big one. It means to ceremoniously be and then some. And what of stealthy and savagery? These are words you never heard until you heard of me. These are words you never heard if not for me. I make it up in my head, and then it's coined. Sometimes borrowed, but not purloined. I have a lot of fun when I break it down. From the adverbs to the adjectives, the predicates, and nouns. A giant lizard with a crooked smile. Have you seen one?
Yeah, crocodile.
I took the Spanish to the English alligator. Yeah, that's a word you never heard until you heard of me. That's a word you never heard if not for me.
He's a genius. How does he do it? He makes it look so easy, like there's nothing to it.
It's my gift to society. All these words you never heard until you heard of me. All these words you never heard if not for me. I make it in my head, and then it's coined. Sometimes borrowed, but not purloined. I have a lot of fun when I break it down. From the adverbs and the adjectives, the predicates and nouns. Hot-blooded, am I obscene? You like my swagger? That's right, that's what I mean. Are you bedazzled? Well, you should be. All these words you never heard until you heard of me. All these words you never heard if not for me.
If not for me.
All these words you never heard unless you heard of me. All these words you never heard if not for me.
If not for me.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Maggie Marks, and I am doing a video for Mad Rogues. My piece is actually from Huck Finn, and it's Huck Finn doing the to be or not to be speech, and he doesn't quite get it right. But it is all Shakespeare, and it's been with me for a long time. I learned it a long time ago, and it's always made me giggle, so hope you enjoy it.
Well, after dinner, the Duke says, I've got it. You can do Hamlet's soliloquy. Hamlet's which? Hamlet's soliloquy. Well, you know, the most celebrated thing in Shakespeare. Oh, it's sublime, sublime. And then he strikes a most noble attitude, with one leg shoved forward and his arms stretched away up towards the sky and his head tilted back, looking up at the sky. And then he begins to rip and rave and grit his teeth and just knock the spots out of any acting ever I've seen before. Well, this is the speech. I learned it easy enough while he was learning it, the king. To be or not to be, that is the bare bodkin that makes calamity of so long life. For who would Fardale's bear till Burnham would to come to Dunsinane, but that the fear of something after death murders the innocent sleep, great nature's second course, and makes us rather sling the arrows of outrageous fortune than fly to others we know not of. There's respect must give us pause. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking, oh, I would thou couldst. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the law's delay, and the quietus which his pangs might take in the dead wasted middle of the night, when churchyards yawn in customary suits of solemn black? But that the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns breathes forth contagion on the world, and thus, like the poor cat in the adage, is sicklied o'er with care, and all the clouds that lowered o'er our housetops in this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, but soft, you, the fair Ophelia, Ope not thy ponderous and marble jaws, but get thee to a nunnery. Go!
Can't do it.
Can't do what?
I'm trying to kill you, but if I kill you while you're praying, you'll be sent to heaven.
Really? Is that how that works? Huh.
Gospel according to Mark.
Oh. Right. Disciple Mark and his funky bunch. So you'd actually be doing me a favor by killing me.
Yeah, I guess so. Fine!
Language.
Sorry, I'm just so confused. I feel like nothing is going my way.
Hey, that's no way for a prince to talk. For what it's worth, my words fly up, but my thoughts remain below. Words without thought never to heaven go.
I guess you're right, Claude. Maybe just half a phi.
There you go. So what now?
Who knows? I guess I'll just have to wait until you sin again and hope I can catch you before you start praying.
Game on, my friend. Now go see what your mother's harping about.
Yeah, might as well.
And Hammy. Keep your head up, kid. You'll find your window.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on now. You'll kill me when the time is right. I think you can do it. Your mom thinks you can do it. Ophelia, Polonius. But none of that matters if you don't believe in yourself.
Thanks. You've always been like a father to me.
And you've always been like a nephew to me. I love you, son.
I love you too, Uncle. By the way, did you kill my dad?
Well, actually, I almost walked into that one. Ooh, good try there, Hambone.
I had to take a shot.
Hey, son. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Dad.
Some pretty creative stuff, huh? Now, some folks prefer to hew slightly closer to tradition, but still putting their own twist on things, like our friends at Boozy Bard and Summit Players, both of whom have chosen to present a few of the funnier moments from Shakespeare's late romance, The Winter's Tale, which hopefully will be performed this summer at various Wisconsin state parks by Summit Players Theater.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick Fuhrer, and that's Sarah Wallish, and we're both from Boozy Bard Productions. What we're going to do right now is we're going to draw a name out of this hat, and that's going to tell us what scene we're going to do.
All right, it's the clown. All right, that means we're doing Autolycus and the clown from A Winter's Tale. Let me see. Every 11 weather tods. Every tod yields pound and odd shilling. 1,500 shorn. What comes to wool?
Oh, if the spring hold, the cock is mine.
I cannot do it without counters. Let me see. What am I to buy for our sheep shearing fest? I must have saffron to color the warden pies. May states nothing. Oh, that's out of my note. Nutmeg 7, a race or 2 of ginger, but that I may beg, 4 pounds of prunes, and as many raisins of the sun.
Oh, what is that for boy?
The name of me.
Oh, help me, put off these rags and then death.
Alack, poor soul, thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee rather than have these off.
Oh, sir, loathsome. of them offend me more than the stripes they have received, which are mighty in their millions.
Alas, poor man, 1,000,000 of beating may come to a great matter.
No, sweet sir, much better than I was. No, these are all of it. I am robbed, sir, and beaten, my money and apparel taken from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What, by a horse or a footman?
A footman? Sweet sir, a footman, yes.
Indeed, he should be a footman by the garments he has left with thee. If this be a horseman's coat, I have seen very hot service. Lend me thy hand, I'll help thee.
Oh, good sir, tenderly.
Alas, poor sir.
Oh, good sir, softly, sir. I fear my shoulder blade is out.
How now? Can't stand?
Yes, softly, dear sir. Good sir. Softly. You have done me charitable office.
Dost thou lack any money?
No.
I have a little money.
Oh, no, good sir. No. I beseech you, offer me no money. I pray. That kills my heart.
How do you now?
The page is over here. Yes, sweet sir, much better than I was. I can stand and walk. I will even take my leave of you and pace away towards my kinsman.
Shall I bring thee on?
Oh, no, good sir, no, sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for our sheep shearing.
Prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is hot enough to purchase your spice.
Hi, I'm AJ Magoon.
And I'm Caroline Norton.
And we're from Summit Players Theatre.
In honor of William Shakespeare's birthday.
As well as in honor of our production of The Winter's Tale, which is still coming to state parks this summer.
We are going to be doing a scene from The Winter's Tale in which I will be playing the old shepherd.
And I will be playing the young shepherd with a few of our characteristic Summit choices.
Enjoy! What have we here? Mercy's on a barn, a pretty barn. Boy or child, I wonder. A pretty one, a very pretty one. Oh, they were warmer that got this than the poor thing here. Oh, I take it up for pity. Oh, yet I'll tarry till my son come. He hallooed, but even now. Whoa! Lower! What art thou? Art so near? If thou see a thing to talk on when thou art dead and rotten, come hither. What ailst thou, boy?
I have seen 2 such sights by sea and by land. But I am not to say it is the sea, for it is the sky. Between the firmament and it you cannot thrust a bodkin's point.
Why, boy? How is it?
I would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore. But that's not the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls. Sometimes to see 'em and not to see 'em. Now the ship boring the moon with her mainmast, and anon swallowed with yeast and froth. And then for the land service, to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone, how he cried to me for help and said his name was Antigonus, a nobleman. But to make an end of the ship, but first, how the poor souls roared and the sea mocked them, and how the poor gentleman roared and the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than sea or weather.
Name of mercy, when was this, boy?
Now, I have not winked since I saw these sights. The men are not yet cold under water, nor the bear half dined on the gentleman. He's at it now.
Would I have been by to have helped out the old man?
Would you have been by the ship's side to have helped her?
Heavy matters. But look thee here, boy. Thou bless thyself. Thou mettest with things dying. I with things newborn. Here's a sight for thee. Look thee, a bearing cloth for a squire's child. Oh, look thee here. Take up, boy. Opened. I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling. Open it. What's within, boy.
You're a made old man. If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to live. Gold! All gold!
It's fairy gold, boy, and we'll prove so. Up with, keep it close. We are lucky, boy, and to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Come, good boy, the next way home.
Go you the next way with your findings. I'll go see if the bear be gone from the gentleman, and how much he hath eaten. If there be any left of him, I'll bury him.
Oh, that's a good deed. 'Tis a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on it.
Next up, we have an assortment of pieces from a few more plays. We start off with a trio of speeches from As You Like It, performed by Jarrod Langwinski as Duke Sr., Ben Parman as Phoebe, and Ashley Rodriguez as Rosalind. Then we have Simon, Earle, and Bekah Rose in a playful, gender-bending take on a scene from Taming of the Shrew. And lastly, a selection from Richard II, performed by Ken Miller, a monologue which rings with heightened resonance in light of our current stay-at-home circumstances.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than all of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we not the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, as the icy fang and churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, finds yet a precious jewel in his head. And this our life, free from the public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well, but what care I for words? Yet words do well, when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. He is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. And faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His leg is but so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair was black, and now I remember, scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it, wilt thou, Sylvius?
You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she, a woman. 'Tis fools such as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself, down on your knees, and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear. Sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
What up?
Hi.
Yo, all right, yeah, this is Simon and Bekah, and we're doing a scene from Taming of the Shrew. We both really like Shakespeare,
Yes.
but we both really hate quarantine.
Yes.
So we decided to mash them together, and I hope you like it. And thank you so much to Mad Rogues for hosting this. And yeah, woo! Hope you enjoy it.
Good morrow, Kate. For that's your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard? But something hard of hearing, they call me Catherine, that do talk of me.
You lie. In faith, for you are called Plain Kate, and Bonnie Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate. For dainties are all Kates, and therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation. Hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtues spoke of, and thy beauty sounded. Yet not so deeply as to thee belongs, myself am moved to woo thee from my way.
Moved in good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at the first, you are movable.
Why, what's immovable?
A joint stool.
Thou hast hit it! Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch. And yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well tamed, and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle as he takes a buzz.
Come, you wasp. Faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
If the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails. And so farewell.
What? With my tongue in your tail? Nay, good Kate, I am a gentleman.
That I'll try!
I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. For because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts, and these same thoughts people this little world in humors like the people of this world, for no thought is contented. Well, the better sort, as having thoughts of things divine, are intermixed with scruples, and do set the word itself against the word, as thus. Come, little ones. And then again, it is as hard to come as for a camel to thread the postern of a small needle's eye. The thoughts tending to ambition, they do plot unlikely wonders. How these vain, weak nails may tear a passage through the flinty ribs of this hard world, my ragged prison, and for they cannot die in their own pride. thoughts tending to content flatter themselves that they are not the first of fortune's slaves, nor shall not be the last. Like silly beggars who, sitting in the stocks, refuge their shame that many have and others must sit there. And in this thought they find a kind of ease, bearing their own misfortunes on the back of such as have before endured the like. Thus play I in one person many people, and none contented. Sometimes am I a king, then treason makes me wish myself a beggar, and so I am. Then crushing penury persuades me I was better when a king, then am I kinged again. And by think that I am unkinged by Bolingbroke, and straight am nothing. But whate'er I be, nor I nor any man that but man is, with nothing shall be pleased till he be eased with being nothing.
For our final selection, we have Reva Fox reading from Hamlet, reprising a role she played in the first ever production presented by Bard and Bourbon, now known as Mad Rogues. Also, a special thanks goes out to Reva and her son, Nathaniel, for helping to edit this video and put together the content for this virtual performance. I would also like to thank Jim Neuner, the managing director for Mad Rogues, for his constant dedication, consistent creativity, and for everything he's done to make this cyber celebration happen. Thank you as well to all of our friends at the No Studios for collaborating with us on this event and providing us a platform to perform. And, of course, thank you to all the performers and fellow practitioners for the gift of your submissions. There were many videos that we were unable to include, but your contributions are no less valued or appreciated. The talent and generosity of our community abounds, and we are grateful to be a part of it. Thanks as well to the Milwaukee Theatre Alliance, helping further to connect and unite us as artists, colleagues, and friends. Once again, my name is Brian Mason, and I hope you have enjoyed this Shakespeare Happy Hour presented by Mad Rogues Theatre Company. Also, please remember to visit imaginemke.com and to contribute to the Milwaukee Artists Relief Fund if you are able, or to request assistance if you are in need. Thank you for joining us. And now, Reva, the stage is yours.
Hi, my name is Reva Fox, and I am going to read one of Polonius's speeches from Hamlet. And the reason it is important to me is because one day when we were doing a production of the Scottish play, Katie said, hey, I need an actor to play Polonius and Horatio in this production of Hamlet that we're doing. And I was like, yes, I'll do it. And I don't remember knowing that we were going to be drunk when we did Hamlet. I do recall being surprised in rehearsal. But also the night that I was drunk was the only night that I remembered all of Polonius's lines. In my defense, he never stops talking. So the most vivid memory I have of being drunk in that was as Horatio just dying laughing when Hamlet, Ethan said, fingered their packets. And I had held it together every night until my drunk night, and then I just lost it. With Ethan pointing at me and screaming, I knew you were going to lose it, I knew it! So I'm going to read Polonius. Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The wind sits at the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory. Look thou character, give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy rich, or not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulleth the edge of husbandry. This, above all, to thine own self be true. And it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee. Bye, everybody. Stay safe. I miss you. I miss you all. I miss hugs.